Hi, I'm Victor Brick, and welcome to January's Good Old Uncle Vic. January is the time for New Year's resolutions, and like a lot of people, I'm getting together my goals and resolutions for 2011. I was recently re-listening to a tape by Jim Valvano, the former basketball coach at NC State, and I realized that a lot of the techniques that I use that set my goals and my resolutions for each year came from him. You may remember Valvano as the coach of NC State in 1983 when they scored one of the biggest upsets in the history of college basketball and defeated the Houston Cougars to win the national championship. He may be even better known for his Never Give Up speech in 1993 at the ESPY Awards when he was receiving the Arthur Ashe Courage Award for his fight with bone cancer, a fight that he lost a scant 3 weeks later. You can actually hear this speech on YouTube. I strongly recommend it. It is quite motivational. And what Jimmy B would do is every year he would remember how he got started, he would think about where he was, and he would think about where he was going. He would remember how he got started, so he'd remember the humble means from which he came. He would think about where he was and how hard he had to work to get there. And he would think about where he was going because he knew he could never rest on his laurels. This is a guy that lost his first game as a Division I college basketball coach by 10 touchdowns, 70 points. He was coaching at Iona College at the time, and they lost to Syracuse by 70. So that's how he got started. Where he was a scant 11 years later, he wins the NCAA championship at North Carolina State. And where he was going was each year, his goal was to win another one because he knew he could never rest on his laurels. So that's what I do. I always think about where I started and how I got into the business. Starting as working as a recreation director for Baltimore County. Bought my first health club in 1985 with my wife Lynn, and when at the time, there were times that first year where we didn't even know if we could make payroll. And then I think about where I am, a multi-club operator with the dubious distinction of being Mr. Lynn Brick. And I think about where I'm going or my goals for the coming year. So professionally, what I want to do in 2011, I want to expand 3 of the existing Brick Bodies clubs. We want to open another Brick Bodies club, and Lynn and I want to expand our speaking business because we do a lot of public speaking. Personally, I want to keep to my schedule of working out in the morning before I eat. When you work out early in the morning, especially before you eat, you burn more calories throughout the course of the day. Second is I want to drastically reduce my consumption of sugar because sugar is responsible for a lot of the ailments that come with it as you age. And third, I want to improve my patience, and I want to be a little more tolerant with everybody in general, but especially with my wife, Lynn. Now, this one's going to be a really tough one for me. My patience is something that I've got to really work on, but I have a new technique. When Lynn does something that gets under my skin or might irritate me or says something that might irritate me, instead of getting frustrated, what I'm going to say is, you fascinate me. Oh. So instead of frustrating me, you've already fascinated me once today. And just changing that one word, hopefully will dramatically improve my ability and my patience and my ability to not sweat the little things. We'll let you know how it goes later. Now, here's the real key. The real key is not to let how you got started determine where you're going. Remember, Valvano lost his first game by 70 points. And if somebody had come into that locker room after that game and said that he was going to win the NCAA championship 11 years later, he would have asked them in what sport. Yet there he was in 1983 cutting down the nets as only the 28th man in the history of college basketball to win an NCAA championship. So think about how you got started, think about where you are, and think about where you want to be. And then, of course, the key is to go make it happen. If you enjoyed this Uncle Vic, please feel free to pass it on to a friend. And for a text version of this Uncle Vic, or for past text or video versions of our Uncle Vics, visit our website at www.brickbodies.com. We'd also like to hear your comments. Please use the form below for your comments and suggestions. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, we close every Uncle Vic with a thought for the day. And the thought for the day today is...
The world is full of ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Until we meet again, that's it from good old Uncle Vic.